Arizona has become the first state to file a lawsuit against the Biden administration for its COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Last week, President Biden announced large companies must require their employees to be vaccinated or be tested for the virus regularly. The plan will affect as many as 100 million Americans. But some employees can challenge this vaccine mandate if they have a religious exemption or a disability. MoneyWatch reporter Megan Cerullo writes about this on CBSNews.com, and she joins me now to discuss what counts for an exemption. Megan, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act allows employees to refuse the vaccine over sincerely held religious beliefs. Tell us what this means exactly.
Correct. Employees can request accommodations on religious grounds, and it's a little bit murky. No major religious denomination in the U.S. opposes vaccination outright, but beliefs, practices, observances with which an employer might not be familiar are still protected. So it's incumbent upon an employer to evaluate each of these requests on a case-by-case basis.
So how do employers verify the legitimacy of a religious exemption, and how does somebody who's trying to claim one provide proof of their religious exemption?
Employees seeking exemptions from vaccine mandates based on religious grounds can submit these requests in writing. They're encouraged but not required to seek a letter from a religious leader, a pastor, for example, who can detail and verify and attest that vaccination does indeed conflict with their religious beliefs. That doesn't mean that the employer is required to or will necessarily accept the request. Other supporting documentation,
and obviously,
like articles, pamphlets, can also help bolster an employee's case.
Okay, but obviously these religious exemptions are different from a exemption based off of health, et cetera. So tell us how they compare the disability or medical history exemptions versus these religious exemptions.
Requests for exemptions under the Americans with Disabilities Act, which are medical exemptions, tend to be more straightforward. A third party, a doctor or a medical provider, is involved and can document and explain very clearly what medical condition it is that prevents the employee from being vaccinated. They can document an allergy to a vaccine component, for example. Requests for religious exemptions are murkier, and employers these days, whereas in the past they would typically accept an employee's religious beliefs at face value, sort of accept them as sincerely held. They're more brazen in asking what some may consider probing questions, given the high stakes nature of the virus and what allowing unvaccinated individuals in the workplace could mean for their colleagues.
I want to provide a specific example to our viewers, Megan, because United Airlines recently denied several employees' requests for religious exemptions. Workers face a September 27th deadline to get their shots. Tell us more about this case, and do you expect more of these types of headlines will follow?
A number of United Airlines employees, and in fact, employees across a variety of companies in different industries. These kinds of requests are flooding in fact. But United denied a number of requests for exemption from the company's vaccine mandate on religious grounds. And what they did in the case of those individuals whose requests were approved is they are placing them on unpaid leave until the pandemic meaningfully subsides. So that's the accommodation that they're providing for individuals whose sincerely held religious beliefs interfere with vaccination. And employment attorneys expect exemptions on a religious basis to be few and far between. And again, that's because of the high stakes nature of the virus. They're going to ask probing questions, and they're going to want to make sure in the interactive process that an employee is not seeking an exemption under the guise of their religious beliefs when really they object on a personal or social level to the vaccine.
Megan, thank you so much.
Thanks, Lana.